Have you ever been surprised by your own actions when in the heat of passion you yielded to temptation and you couldn't believe it afterwards? What about in that rage of anger when you lashed out and you just felt terrible afterwards? Or in spite of your desire for nutrition and proper weight control, you scarfed down those maple bars? What about, have you ever been surprised and maybe even shocked by your own heart, where you intended to do the right thing but you just didn't? Those times where you just didn't have it inside to do the right thing. Well, that's what we want to talk about today. You see, our actions are determined by our heart. You see, that's what God wants us to understand. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Really saying yes to God and holding nothing back for our own good. What I want to talk to you about today is the unqualified yes. Unqualified. What does that mean as an adjective? It means not modified, not limited, or restricted in any way without reservations. It means absolute and complete. The unqualified yes to God. Now in Joshua 24, 16 to 24, we find that God's people, the Israelites, had the exact same problem that you and I have every single day. And that is this: we will follow God, and then they fail. We will follow God, and we failed. So let's look into this story and find out some great truths that we can learn so that we can have the same great kind of life that God's always designed and resourced us to have. All right? Okay. Now let's look at the passionate desire, and we're looking today in the Message. So verse 16 to 18, excerpts only today. The people answered, "We'd never forsake God, never. We'd never leave God to worship other gods. God is our God. He brought up our ancestors from Egypt and from slave conditions. Count us in. We too are going to worship God. He's our God." Secondly is the probable decision, verse 19 and 20. Then Joshua told the people, "You can't do it. You're not able to worship God. He is a holy God. He won't put up with your fooling around and sinning. He'll turn right around and come down on you hard, and after all the good He has done for you." Third, the powerful declaration, verses 21 through 24. But the people told Joshua, No, we worship God." And so Joshua addressed the people, "You are witnesses against yourselves that you have chosen God." And they said, "We are witnesses." Now listen to this. Joshua said, "Now get rid of all the foreign gods you have with you. Say an unqualified yes to God, the God of Israel." The people answered Joshua, "We will worship God. What He says, we'll do." Now here's the question I have for you. What about you today? Where are you today? Are you, like me, in a situation where you've intended to do right and yet you have failed? What does this passage say? It says a couple things. First, it says, put away the foreign gods that you have among you. What are the foreign gods? Anything that stands in the way of the God. It can be money, it can be people, relationships, it can be your reputation, it can be finances, whatever. What is it? Only you know. Only I know what can stand in the way of God. It says, put away the foreign gods that you have among you. And then secondly, say that unqualified yes to God. You know, Peter denied Christ 3 times, even though he said, "I will never deny you." 3 times he denied Christ. And in John 21, Jesus came to Peter publicly, and he said, 3 times he said, "Peter, do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me?" 3 times, once for every time he denied him. So he came to restore Peter publicly. And he comes to you right now, right where you are, as you're watching this today. He comes to restore you. That's the great good news of Jesus. No matter what we have done, as we put away our foreign gods, as we say our unequaled yes to God, He says to you and me, "I've come to restore you." You see, my friends, our actions reveal our hearts, don't they? And what about our hearts? Jeremiah 17 and verse 9 states very, very clearly, the heart is deceitful above all things and beyond cure. Who can understand it? Well, I think we all understand this, is that we don't understand our hearts and we can't trust them. But here's the good news. We can trust God with our hearts. You see, my friend, it's always safe to trust God. God is always safe. It is my prayer that you would put away all foreign gods from among you. You don't want them. You don't need them. They don't give you the safety. They don't give you the peace that you're longing for. And it is my prayer that you would give him the unqualified yes in your life, because he will give you the favor, the rest, the joy, and the blessing you've always wanted. It's my prayer. It's his prayer. And he promises to give you and me everlasting life. My friend, go for it.